know. Time to make a change.
First thing you do in terms of not stressing the small stuff, not sweating the small stuff, is remembering that tomorrow is not going to be promised. My friend, when it comes to remembering that tomorrow is not promised to anybody, I shared with you how I've seen traumatic loss. Just the other day, I was informed that a colleague of mine, and we worked together for several years, I was informed that he died. So what does that mean for you? That means that you've got to remember that tomorrow isn't promised to anybody. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth, and he spoke of the next date with tears. But what he said meant the most was the dash between those years. For you see, it matters not how much you own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how you live and love and how you spend your dash. My favorite book says that you ought to lay aside the weights and the problems that so easily upset you. What's eating at you, Gilbert Grape? What plucks your last nerve? Have you begun to deal with it? If you haven't, my friends, then I would suggest that you take that honest inventory that we talked about earlier, that you begin assessing yourself and figuring out what is it that makes me tick, but more importantly, what is it that ticks me off, and how can I address it? How can I get to a point where it's all small stuff? My friends, I thank you for your time. I'm so glad you joined us in this first part. 10 ways, 10 action steps you can take now to embrace change and achieve greatness. Number 1, don't sweat the small stuff.
I know. Time to make a change.